too many shipments of cocaine are getting through because of a shortage of boats to intercept them.
Multiple addresses across London and the home counties, officers from the National Crime Agency and the Metropolitan Police's organised crime partnership moving through doors that open onto something the public was never supposed to see. 2 tons of cocaine distributed across safe houses, warehouse units and lockups connected by a distribution architecture that has been operating without interruption, without significant disruption, for at least 3 years. £85 million, not as a single cash pile, as the accumulated value of what was seized in properties, accounts, gold and vehicles across an operation that took 16 months to build and 17 minutes to execute. 120 people in handcuffs before the city finishes its morning commute. Behind those 120 arrests is a supply chain that does not begin in London. It begins in Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, with an organization the United States intelligence community formally describes as the largest and most powerful drug trafficking operation in the world. The same organization whose co-founder pleaded guilty in a Brooklyn federal court last August. The same organization now confirmed operating inside European cities, and the same organization whose cocaine, according to the NCA's own Director General, accounted for a material proportion of the 230 tons seized globally last year. Product destined for the UK, with a street value the NCA calculated at over £18 billion. Nobody is joining those dots. Nobody is explaining what a raid in London has to do with a guilty plea in Brooklyn and a laboratory in Poland. That is why British Front Media exists. Subscribe now, because what follows is the complete picture. Reason number 1. Last year, the NCA and international partners seized 230 tons of Class A drugs, mostly cocaine, with a UK street value of over £18 billion. Britain's cocaine market absorbs that supply and keeps asking for more. This figure came directly from the mouth of NCA Director General Chris Farrimond at the launch of the 2026 National Strategic Assessment, 230 tons seized in a single year, mostly cocaine, with international partners working across multiple jurisdictions simultaneously. A material proportion was destined for Britain. The UK's domestic cocaine market, worth an estimated £4 billion a year by NCA calculation, represents one of the most lucrative cocaine destinations on Earth. The British public uses cocaine at one of the highest rates in the world. More than 1,000 people die cocaine-related deaths in Britain every year. And the supply that drives those deaths flows in a straight line from Sinaloa to South American production fields to Rotterdam to British streets. 2 tons seized on one morning represents less than 1% of annual UK cocaine consumption. That is the scale of what the raid is operating inside. Reason number 2. The Sinaloa Cartel's co-founder pleaded guilty in August 2025, confirming the organization flooded Britain and the world with cocaine and bribed government officials across the supply chain to guarantee it. Ismael El Mayo Zambada, co-founder of the Sinaloa Cartel, pleaded guilty in a US federal court in Brooklyn in August 2025 to engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise. He confirmed the cartel built relationships with Colombian cocaine producers, transported product by boat and plane into Mexico, and flooded the United States and other countries with cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl, operating with impunity for decades through systematic bribery of Mexican police, military commanders, and government officials. 1 month before his plea, Ovidio Guzman Lopez, son of El Chapo, admitted in Chicago federal court to coordinating multi-country drug distribution, laundering profits through bulk cash, wire transfers and cryptocurrency, and resorting to violence against law enforcement and civilians to protect supply routes. The cartel's leadership is collapsing through prosecution. The supply chain it built continues to function, because the architecture is not the leaders. It is the routes, the port contacts, the corrupt officials, and the European distribution networks that have been in place for 30 years. Reason number 3. The Sinaloa Cartel has confirmed European operational presence. Meth labs in Poland, networks in France and Belgium, 14 arrests in Spain, and its UK cocaine supply runs through Rotterdam. This is not background. This is the documented reality of where Sinaloa's European expansion currently stands. Polish law enforcement raided a methamphetamine laboratory linked to the Sinaloa cartel operating inside a rural villa in September 2025. French and Belgian police dismantled a Sinaloa-linked meth production and distribution ring in May 2025. Spain made 14 arrests with confirmed Sinaloa links in 2025. Brookings Institution research, based on Mexican official interviews conducted through April 2026, confirmed the supply chain explicitly. The Sinaloa cartel worked with Italian, Albanian, Turkish, Dutch, Spanish, and Irish criminal groups to develop European cocaine markets, routing product via Pacific ports and Rotterdam. The United Kingdom, as a premium cocaine market with established distribution infrastructure and high street-level demand, sits at the end of that supply chain. Every ton that clears Rotterdam and moves toward British shores has, at some point in its journey, been handled by a Sinaloa-connected network. Reason number 4, Operation Venetic, the NCA's EncroChat takedown, produced 2,437 convictions, £84 million in criminal funds, and 8 tons of Class A drugs seized, exposing how Sinaloa-sourced cocaine moves through UK distribution infrastructure in real time. Operation Venetic, the NCA-led UK response to the international infiltration of the EncroChat encrypted communications platform in 2020, has now secured 2,437 convictions, mostly serious drug criminals. The intelligence extracted from millions of decrypted messages produced over £84 million in criminal funds seized, more than 8 tons of Class A drugs recovered, 175 firearms, and 3,500 rounds of ammunition across the UK. Crucially, those messages revealed exactly how South American cartel cocaine moves through British networks. In one Venetic case, 2 men, Matthew Byrne and Bo Devlin, attempted to import around 5 tons of cocaine from South America via European ports, including Antwerp, laundering profits through a Hatton Garden jeweller in gold bars at £40,000 each. Their EncroChat messages showed discussions of smuggling between 5 and 10 tons at a time over the previous 8 years. The cocaine they moved had origins in South America. The infrastructure they used, corrupt port contacts, transport managers, storage units, is the same infrastructure Sinaloa's European networks rely on. Reason number 5. The largest cocaine seizure in UK history was 5.7 tons in a single container at Southampton. And the NCA has now confirmed cocaine is being chemically bonded into legitimate cargo at a molecular level to defeat scanners. The 2 tons seized in this operation is significant. It must be understood against a supply pipeline the NCA has confirmed is operating at scales that dwarf any individual raid. In February 2024, Border Force and the NCA seized 5.7 tons of cocaine, the largest Class A drug seizure in British history, from a single container at Southampton hidden inside a consignment of bananas, with a street value exceeding £450 million. Previous records, 3.7 tons and 3.2 tons, had each been broken within 2 years. The volume being shipped at Britain is accelerating, not declining. And the NCA Director General confirmed at the 2026 National Strategic Assessment launch that the smuggling methods are evolving simultaneously. Cocaine is now being altered at the molecular level to bond into legitimate cargo materials, charcoal, glue, plastic, so that the cargo itself becomes the drug, invisible to conventional scanning equipment. The scanner reads fruit. The container contains cocaine. The border is not holding a line. It is fighting a technological arms race it did not design. Reason number 6. Cocaine-related deaths in Britain rose 30% in a single year, from 857 to 1,118. And the total cost of drug harm to UK society now exceeds £20 billion annually. Behind every kilogram seized and every arrest made is a death toll that the NCA documented with precision and that received almost no mainstream coverage when published. The NCA's National Strategic Assessment confirmed that cocaine-related deaths increased by 30% in England and Wales in a single year, from 857 in 2022 to 1,118 in 2023. In Scotland, cocaine deaths rose 29% in the same period. The overall cost of drug use and drug-related deaths to UK society now exceeds £20 billion every year. Each of those deaths is a person at the end of a supply chain that began in a South American field, moved through a Sinaloa-connected logistics operation, cleared a European port, transited through a British distribution network, and arrived, cut, pressed, packaged, and sold, at a point of use that nobody in the supply chain above street level ever needed to visit. So here is where Britain stands in July 2026. 120 arrested, 2 tons of cocaine seized, £85 million frozen, an NCA operation that dismantled on one morning one node of a supply chain the cartel itself describes as global. 2,437 convictions from EncroChat data still being processed through the courts. A Southampton container seizure that broke the UK record and was itself broken within years. Cocaine deaths up 30%. Society-wide drug harm costing £20 billion annually, and a Sinaloa co-founder pleading guilty in Brooklyn, confirming decades of systematic bribery, violence, and supply that continues through his network's infrastructure whether he is in court or not. The NCA and Met did what they came to do, 120 times over before London finished its morning coffee. The cartel is not the co-founder. The cartel is the route, the port contact, the Dutch haulage company, the storage unit in Essex, the encrypted phone handle in a set of messages that nobody has decrypted yet. That is what this raid disrupted, and that is what tomorrow's shipment is already routing around. Subscribe to British Front Media